Like,
there's the DMZ.
Yeah. That's amazing.
There's Pyongyang.
Yeah, it's lit
It's
up.
the only lights in the entire country.
That's absolutely amazing. My brother just got back from China. He went there for Monster Energy is actually invading China.
what?
Yeah.
What the hell do you mean they're invading China?
Well, apparently, of course, Monster Energy is sold by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Okay, so Coca-Cola has a presence in China, so now does Monster Energy. So my brother's over there, the marketing that he does. He went over there with a group of people to train the Chinese and change a lot of stuff on how to market their product in a Chinese market. He said when he got back, first of all, he had a bad upper respiratory infection because of the air quality that's in China.
Yep.
Okay, also coming back to that the government actually filters the internet.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, well, it's no different than, well, if they ain't got no lights in North Korea, I seriously doubt they have internet, so. But,
They have intranet.
well, and it's controlled by Pyongyang.
Yeah. They don't have any outside
there in
feeds from the
China.
internet coming into North Korea.
He says, like China, you
government
you
officials.
cannot get on Google out there.
They've got their own version of it.
Yeah. They got their own version, which
But it's
is
all controlled.
it's controlled by
All of it's
Beijing.
controlled. Yeah.
It's all controlled by Beijing.
And you can't have any religious material over there.
I mean, almost every authoritarian country has things like that. Like Facebook. You see Russian people on Facebook a lot, but they have their own version of Facebook.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's called VB or something like that. And it looks a lot like an old version of Facebook. Like something somebody hacked from Facebook 2.0 or something like that. But
Yeah, the only thing I see, that's coming out of Russia, of course, is, Donald Trump, what they're accusing him of, and maybe Russian sex slaves. That's all you see coming out of Russia today.
I haven't seen any Russian sex slaves yet.
You ain't been looking very hard.
I was going to say, I need to look harder, don't I?
Yeah, you do. yeah. Start brushing off that dust after 4 months.
Russian girls, man.
Yeah.
Here's another one. You guys know who Kanye West is, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a walking freaking train wreck right there.
This dude, I swear to God, every time he's about to release a new album here in the next little bit, and every time before he releases a new album, he does something absolutely ridiculous and crazy. And I know a lot of people have seen the TMZ thing where he was talking about, like...
He's just a Trump supporter now.
Well, he was talking about on TMZ, there's this video, which, trust me, all of this is staged to boost hype for him in his new album, but something about, like... He said slaves had the option to become slaves, or something like, I don't know, something crazy. But here's another thing that he put out on his website. Listen to this song. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let me turn this down.
Scoop the whoop?
Yeah, listen.
Whoopie dee scoop, scoop dee dee whoop, whoop dee scoop dee poop, poop dee scoop dee whoop, whoopie dee scoop whoop poop, poop dee dee whoop scoop, poop, poop, scoop dee dee whoop, whoop dee dee scoop, whoop dee dee scoop poop.
Scoop poop. Oh my God. There you go, Kanye West coming back with something stupid.
Oh,
Whoop diddy scoop poop.
that's a mess.
That's gonna be my ringtone. That's gonna be my ringtone right there. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Whoopie dee scoop,
I'll play it again.
scoop dee dee whoop, whoop dee scoop dee poop, poop dee
What
scoop
the
dee
fuck is he
scoop dee whoop.
doing?
Whoopie dee scoop whoop
When you
poop,
got that kind of
poop
money,
dee
you
dee
can do
whoop
whatever.
scoop, poop, poop, scoop dee dee whoop, whoop dee dee scoop, whoop dee dee scoop poop.
Communicable disease at this point.
Are they even still married?
Yes, they are.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Man. See, slavery is a choice. That's what he said right there. Slavery is a choice.
Wow.
No,
It's this
no.
big ordeal that he went out there saying. He got in a fight with this other black dude on TMZ.
Well, if I'm not mistaken...
Oh, that guy from ESPN, Steven, what's his name?
I don't know.
The black.
You didn't hear about his other
sports
response
announcer?
about the Democratic Party, keeping them as slaves. Because he went off and said
Oh,
to the
there's a
welfare
lot.
housing, to the your food stamps, to everything. The Democratic Party wants to control you and keep you as their slave. I think Kanye West said that.
Wow.
And I think that's where he's going off. And,
I
as
was
you're just reading a
wondering-
headline on that.
Yeah, and that's what I wondered when I read that headline, is if he's not talking about the plantation mentality that...
No, he's not talking about the old cotton picking.
No, I'm talking about the plantation mentality
Oh,
of
yeah.
today. Where,
Yes.
you keep your people fed, you give them what they need, you don't encourage them to have any free thought or any motivation to do anything.
And that's
you keep them
exactly
under
what
control.
he... And I'm almost positive that's exactly what he's referring to. I think I heard an article or read an article on that where that's what he was actually talking about the Democratic Party holding these people as slaves, and it's their own choice that they still support the Democratic Party.
Yeah, well, you can thank LBJ for that.
No, it actually goes further back than that. It goes back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt with the New Deal, with all the socialist programs that were set up in that New Deal program.
Well, and I'm not going to repeat this on the air, but you know about this famous saying that's attributed to LBJ, right?
I guess we could talk about it later.
With the Civil Rights Act that was passed.
Yeah, he didn't want to sign it.
We'll have them voting, and he used
Yeah.
another word,
Oh, yeah.
Democrat for the next 200 years.
Yeah, in which, big, huge controversy on this, it was well-known fact that Martin Luther King was what? A registered Republican.
Yeah, he was.
Okay? He got sentenced to prison, okay? During the Nixon... No, he was in jail during the Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy race for the presidency, okay? Of course, you all know who won that. John F. Kennedy won the race. Mm-hmm. But the Democrats they didn't have nothing to do with, civil rights or anything. That was a Republican thing.
Well, you'll find a lot of people that will argue with that, though, based on the platform changes of the parties that happened later,
Yeah, but throughout history...
which resulted in people like George Wallace turning Republican for...
Yeah. But the only reason why John F. Kennedy, I would say, got the black vote at that time is because he actually bailed Martin Luther King. His campaign bailed him out of jail.
Ah, okay. Wasn't aware of that. That's good to know.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, guess what? Word travels fast. Hey, look, John F. Kennedy is for us. So guess what? You get the black vote. And that's the way it's always been ever since that incident. But people seem to forget that, Martin Luther King was a registered Republican.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten it, but I hadn't thought about it for a while either. I mean, the line between the parties really got really murky in that late 60s thing.
Right.
With the Southern strategy that was employed. So, to me, to be honest, there's so much mudslinging going on between the two of them. But I don't see the Republicans being the proponent of small government like they once supposedly
Oh, no,
were.
they're full of
Lower
crap on that.
taxes,
You want to get a hold of that power, you get a hold of that money, you don't want to let things like that go.
Yeah, they're all both about power.
They did it back in 1945 after the death of Franklin Roosevelt. Harry Truman, of course, the vice president at the time, became the president. Then after that, after Truman, what happened was the Congress set up what? Term limits on the president of the United States. Because Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the only third-term president out there.
Actually, he got elected to his fourth term, didn't he?
Yeah. He died several months into his fourth term.
As a matter of fact, he went into that fourth term and that election knowing it's been said that he knew that he was not going to survive that term.
So that's when the Congress and the Senate, they passed that piece of legislation about the president could only serve 2 terms.
And the interesting thing about that is he had, can't remember the guy that was his vice president the first 3 terms, but
it wasn't Harry Truman.
yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
They pretty much showed him the door and brought in Truman because I think Roosevelt knew he wasn't going to survive that term, and he didn't trust the country in the hands of his vice president at the time. So
Right. But I believe to solve America's problem right now with corrupt politicians, lobbyists, and everything, you set term limits on these politicians in the White House.
Oh,
instead of making a career out of being a politician. George Washington said it. You know, after he served 2 terms, and George Washington was not elected as the president. He was appointed by the Continental Congress.
Well, the original congressional representatives did not receive a salary.
Sorry.
There
was their duty. George Washington
were not
said
intended to be career positions. They were intended to be public service.
George Washington said, "No, I'm not going to serve again. I'm going to my home in Virginia. I've done my duty to my country," and went home.
And the founding fathers did not want politics to be a career orientation for people, and it's turned into exactly that now.
But
so we got some people out there saying they can't hear.
Oh, that was in the very beginning of the episode. But
how many people got listening right now to this?
You can see right here. It's playing. It's
yeah, I see that. But how many people got online right now?
I don't know.
Listening.
I can't tell while we're live. I'll only be able to tell after.
Yeah.
I might be able to tell on my phone.
The secret really to changing, and of course, this is my opinion. The secret to changing a lot of the shit that we've got going on in our government now. First of all, we need to make lobbying a treasonable offense.
Thank you.
Lobbying needs to go away. These big companies giving money to our political representatives and vacations and crap has got to stop.
Well, they do have some sort of law where they can only give how much?
Oh, please.
How much can they actually give?
I don't know. They have to declare it too. I know, but it's still bullshit. And we have to term.
It's what they're trying to get Donald Trump on right now for that $135,000 for Stormy Daniels. I wish I could have banged a porn star.
We have to make Congress have the same health care plan that they are offering to the rest of America.
Yeah.
Through the Health Care Act. And to be honest, we have to eliminate the garbage out of there. I mean, anybody that gets it has to be made easier to get rid of the riffraff.
Yeah. Give people out there take more responsibility for their actions is what we need, the average person, instead of trying to, Big Daddy trying to come in and take care of somebody.
And there's one other thing that has to happen, and it's not going to happen.
And what is that?
And that's the part that I hate, is the legislating from the judicial bench has to go away.
You think so?
Yes. It was never intended to be that way. It was never intended for the Supreme Court to be able to legislate, or the Court of Appeals to legislate from the bench.
Well, you want to hear something else that was never intended to be? Senators. Senators have always been appointed by the governor of each state to be their representative in Washington, D.C.
Okay,
they have always been appointed.
That changed in the late 1800s, did it not?
No, I think it's later than that.
Okay, I remember something about that, but I can't remember exactly when it changed.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but congressmen are always elected to districts, of course, but senators are always appointed by their governors. Because, the governor can't be in Washington, D.C. all the time looking out for his state.
Right.
But
I can't remember, man. I need to look it up.
I'm actually looking it up right now, but
it's something that probably should not have been allowed to happen. But then again, no, I don't feel good about having a governor necessarily appoint my representatives in the Senate. But it was all part of the checks and balances system. I mean, the forefathers built a really good system. If we would have just stuck to it.
The 17th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, direct election of U.S. senators. America did not directly vote for senators for the first 125 years of a federal government.
And when was that passed?
Hold on. The Constitution the Constitution as it was adopted in 1788 states that the senators would be elected by the state legislators. Okay.
Okay.
When was the 14th Amendment? 1913.
Okay, so
senators started being elected by the people in 1913.
Okay, all right.
So another thing too. I don't know how we got on a political.
Yeah, keep going. I don't know shit. So.
Yeah. there's, you talk about that too, and then you hear all these people out there complaining.